everybody. It is that time of the year again. We are at Dave & Buster's. It's Washed Up Sports Network. I'm Jet. This is the man himself, Aaron. We are joined with some special guests. It's Celebrity Softball Weekend. We're here live in Frisco, Texas. I have two-time Super Bowl champion, Mr. Jim McMahon.
Oh, wait a minute. I thought that was me for a minute.
Oh, yeah. And then the legend himself, the man that makes all this happen, Mr. TK.
Takes the village, baby.
TK, we got a lot of stuff going on.
Let's go. Shoot it.
Off. Tell me what we got going on this weekend for anybody that's living under a rock. They do not know what Celebrity Softball Classic is. Let them know.
11th year, baby. We're close to $1 million this year for 25 different veteran and children charities. Mad Max come here last couple of years. Has had an absolute blast. And I think we're going to get him coaching a base this year with his Red Solo Cup, I think is what we got going on. He's real good at coaching the base with the Red Solo Cup. Obviously, he doesn't want to show up any of these youngsters out there. You know, he did play at BYU a little bit. And so he's going to take it easy on everybody. We're going to have some fun. But, yeah, we got so many great celebrities, veterans playing in this game. Co-ed, probably got 100 people per team. We got Carl's House sponsoring it. Thank you, Carl's House. We got Dave & Buster's powering it up for us. And we do have a Dave & Buster's fan zone out there in left field, and you might want to wait till the home run derby's over before you do visit it so you don't actually take one to the head.
But if you do, I mean, it does make it for much more entertaining.
Hey, souvenir ball, baby. You will get a souvenir ball while you're in ER trying to figure out who you are. So either way you got it, you're winning.
TK, where did this whole thing start? Like, exactly where does this story begin in the Celebrity Softball Classic?
Well, when I was in the Air Force, I was fortunate enough to play all Air Force softball, and I played on some different teams while I was in the Air Force that were civilian teams. And then you get out of Air Force and you go corporate world and you get married, you got kids, and, you know, Dad don't get to do any of the fun stuff anymore. And then we got into philanthropic endeavors. My wife and I were on a lot of boards, and we're averaging probably 8 to 10 black tie events every year locally and around Texas. And 2014, one of the last events of the year, we were with Marcus Luttrell at the Lone Survivor Foundation. And I told Marcus, like, brother, I can't do this anymore. And we got to figure something else out. And he was like, man, we need to do something fun. I was like, you know what we should do? It's just a celebrity softball game. And 2015, we did it with the Lone Survivor Foundation, which is now Operation Red Wings. And it blew up. It took off from there. You know, this will be our 11th year here. And like I said, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger every year. More and more great people every year coming in. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah, one thing I love about Celebrity Softball is it's really, you know, it's a big family event, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
and it goes beyond just the fact that, you know, you want to bring your kids out, you want to have fun with that, but just the group, right? Like, my favorite part, I've told you this before, right? Like, Wednesday, everyone kind of starts trickling in. Thursday, everyone shows up, and it's like a family reunion.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, you know, what your social media following is. It doesn't matter how many, you know, championship rings you got. Everybody comes together, and it's just, you know, how can we come together and, you know, show out for, you know, our veterans, you know, for our first responders, and it's just a great event. And, you know, TK, as always, from behalf of everybody, we appreciate you. We thank you so much for what you do.
Well, I appreciate you guys. We got Washed Up this year calling the game, handling all the game day operations. So hopefully they'll be back next year and they won't mess this shit up and we fire them after this. But so I got good faith in them that they're going to get it done. But no, that's probably the funnest part of the weekend. It is a big family reunion anymore, and everybody coming together. And I promise you, if you need to hire a couple of people to hold your pool down and get it done, Jimmy Mack and I are probably the best people that will hold a pool down with some Coors Light. We work cheap, baby. We'll work cheap. Get us some Coors Light and we'll hold that pool down for you all day long. As you can tell from our great tans that we've gotten all day being burnt. So, yeah, we're game day ready at this point.
Now, how did you meet Jim McMahon? As a lifelong Bears fan, first of all, TK knows everyone. That's the first thing. Jim's nodding his head because you do somehow just know everyone. But how did you meet Jim?
I'm overly fortunate. I get a lot of people that send me people, but it's actually funny how Jimmy probably won't remember this. Obviously, I do because I'm by far a huge Jim McMahon fan. The reason why I wear number 9, reason why I want to play quarterback, reason why I damn near got kicked out of school for not paying attention and telling everybody to go F themselves in high school. But
I did.
In the mid-'80s. But, yeah, so thank you for Jimmy for that. But, no, we actually met at the Maxim party at Jacksonville Super Bowl. And we actually met on the backside of it. We were all leaving, and I met Jimmy while he was waiting for his limo to come get him. I met him there, and it was funny because I finally got to meet Jimmy. I got a picture with Jimmy, but we had the old cameras where you crank those little things up, and I lost the damn thing somewhere between that picture and to the car, and on the way back, and me and my wife flying out, and I was like, you got to be joking me. And then a couple of people were like, hey, you need to meet Jimmy, man. I met him at the Colonial. There's just places I met him, but we never really got connected. And then through a friend last year, Jimmy was at Steve McMichael's Hall of Fame event, and a good friend of mine, Dempsey, was like, hey, bro, I got Jim McMahon with me. I know he's your favorite, da-da-da. And, he wants to come play in a celebrity game. And, I mean, about 10 minutes later, I woke up, and he was still on the phone. And after I pretty much had a heart attack, fell out, I'm like, holy shit, get Jimmy Mack here. And then he came last year, not really knowing what to expect. And we kind of had to drag Jimmy here. I'm not going to lie to you. He was kind of like, nah, we got him here. Then he was like, by Saturday noon, we hadn't even got to the game. He was like, hey, kid. I went by. I was like, Jimmy, you need beer? Anything? He goes, kid, come here. He goes, let me tell you something. I've done a lot of events in my life. He goes, I will never miss this event again. As soon as you get the date, give it to me. And I was like, Jimmy, we ain't even got to the game yet. He was like, I don't care. So by Friday night and Saturday, Jimmy was already like, I'll never miss this again. And from there, we became pretty close. And we're actually, people might not realize, 2025, this is the 40th anniversary of the 85 Bears.
Yep.
And so we're going to actually do a big Super Bowl party with Jimmy, obviously during Super Bowl weekend in Chicago. So it should be kind of fun and doing some things there. But, yeah, we've just become close. And my wife always kids. She's like, oh, TK stands for the kid now, because she'll read Jimmy's text that says, hey, kid, the kid. So, but, no, he's just so much fun to hang around. And again, I'm such a football fan of I like the behind the scenes, right? So, like last night when Jimmy flew in, one of my big questions I never got the chance to ask was like, man, what's it like, honestly, playing with Walter Payton?
Yeah.
Like, to me, the all-time greatest, right? And so it's just fun hearing those stories. And there's some stories I can't tell you about some people that Jimmy's got opinions on that I probably should keep off the air. But it's always fun hearing the backstories. It's always fun hearing the backstories, right? So anyway, yeah, we'll let the man get in here and jump in here and talk about it. But, yeah, it's always fun. I mean, Celebrity Game, again, is family weekend. Got great people coming together. And like you said, T, I don't care if you got a negative $5 in your account, you got $5 billion in your account. If you're TK's friend and family and you're at the event, everybody's VIP, right? And we don't even in our private stuff we don't do name tags. We don't do registrations. We don't, like, hell, there's people at the hotel show up at the party going, man, we just started following the crowd. I'm like, shit, welcome. Get a beer and let's go. Like, what are we talking about? Like, go ahead.
Jim, a lot of people demand your time. You're a member of a very esteemed class of gentlemen that I like to call the greatest group of gentlemen to ever step on a football field. I don't even think it's close. And please don't come at me in the comments about Ravens teams. I don't want to hear it.
No.
The 85 Bears are the greatest. What does this event mean to you, and what gets you out and wanting to go say, hey, kid, I'm coming every year? What is it about this event?
Well, the number one thing is for our military.
Yeah.
And I've done a lot of stuff with our military over the years. I appreciate what they do for us. We couldn't be sitting here doing this podcast without, the sacrifices these men and women have made. And I get that. I mean, it started back during the Vietnam War. I was growing up then, and every night on the news I'd see, I grew up in San Jose, California, so the guys would come home to San Francisco. And I see them getting spit on and their flags getting burned. And I just never understood that. And so I've always had a soft spot for our military. I've got to do some great things with our military. I was actually in Iraq when they hung Saddam Hussein. That was pretty cool. They wouldn't let us go on a hanging, but we were pretty close. And but I've got to do so many great stuff. I've probably driven all our tanks. I've shot most of the weapons we have. I do stuff with all branches of our military. Army, Navy. Just did a SEAL event a couple weeks ago. Marines. It's just been a fabulous time just to meet these guys and hear their stories. And I appreciate what they do. And that's the reason I do it. And TK puts on a first-class event, which is always fun. And anytime you can hang out at the pool all day and drink a couple cold ones, it's fun. And the next couple of nights going to be fun. And, of course, the softball game. Hopefully I'll get to be on the field this year.
Yeah.
I told TK put me at first base so I don't have to move much.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And it's always fun to be in Texas.
Can I ask one more thing about the Bears? Because that team turns 40 this year, and so do I. I told Jim when I met him, I was born November 28th, 1985. My dad tells the story a Bears game was on in the hospital when I was born. How do you feel that 40 years later, being called, like if a team is referred to as 85 Bears, it's like a descriptor for a style of play, a way that you carry yourself. How does that feel that 40 years later that legacy is still intact and the arguments still rage on that is the best team to ever play football?
Yeah, it's still kind of gets to me. People go crazy about our team, and especially when I'm back in Chicago. But it's it's been that long since they won, so they've had a lot of
Hey, we went one
they've had
and
a lot
done.
of dry seasons. Before we won in '85, all we heard about was the '63 Bears that won the NFL championship, and so that was 22 years before we won, and now it's been 40. So the Bear fans have been struggling, but. Yeah, it was just a great time. We had a great football team. We had a good 5-year run. It wasn't just the '85 team. I mean, the '86 team was 14-2. We weren't that bad. Unfortunately, we didn't do well in the playoffs the next couple of years. But yeah, we had a good 5-year run. We had a hell of a football team, and people still talk about it.
I love it.
All right. So,
Well, one thing real quick, I'll tell you that again about Jimmy. He won't tell him on himself, but one thing Jimmy and I are both very, very adamant and agree on is we hate prescription meds. We absolutely hate them. As a veteran, I think the over-medication of prescription pills to our veterans actually lead to the high rate of suicide that we have.
No doubt.
And same thing whether you're an NFL athlete or military guys, those two individuals are actually both the same individuals. If most pro athletes didn't make it pro, they'd probably be in the military, right? If most military guys had the athletic ability and the opportunities, we'd probably be pro athletes because it's the same mentality, right? Win at all costs. But our pro athletes are being treated just like our veterans, just like everybody in America at this point. Everybody's being over medicated. Like you can't go to the doctor for a hangnail and not leave with a prescription.
Yeah.
And so Jimmy has created a cannabis line. He's created a CBD line that has actually done amazing stuff in giving back and helping everybody get off those prescription meds. And that's probably one of the most impressive things that he does behind the scenes, that he, like, not only is he doing it behind the scenes, but like he's literally been in front of Senate committees, like ripping ass on educating those guys and girls on like how uneducated they actually are about what's going on in this world when it comes to prescription medication, right? So that's probably, to me, one of the highest and best things that Jimmy's been doing on the veteran side. Not only just, like what you consider USO tours and things that he has done and the visits and all that. He's literally behind the scenes fighting for veterans every day and gets no publicity out of it.
You got to love it. I mean, and Jim played during an era of the NFL that guys, I mean, I was watching the 85 Bears documentary just the other day. I do it when I can't sleep. That's what I tell my wife. I really just like to watch it over and over.
Yeah, I watch it about once a week myself.
And watching the style of play, you think, man, can you imagine how much pain those guys are in? And you are 100% right. The idea to fix it is always, well, here's the script. This will make you feel better. And it doesn't make them feel better. It just kind of
it's just
buries it.
It's just a little Band-Aid.
They start out when you're young. They tell these kids they got ADD or ADHD, so they get them hooked on the Adderall early on. So these kids grow up thinking, okay, I got a problem. I need a pill for this. I need a pill for this. The problem is you take one pill, you got to take 3 others to combat what you just took.
Well, because if one makes you feel good, 2 or 3 make you feel
But everything else just it just screws up your whole body.
Yeah.
Your mind, your innards. I mean, you don't go to the bathroom regularly. Right. It's just it's so unfortunate.
I'd rather just stick to the 1968 rolled up weed that they grow out in the backyard and just smoke it up.
I tell you, that's God's gift to us. I mean, it grows naturally all over the world. It's only a drug when man puts his hands on it, starts putting chemicals in it. Right.
Yeah.
If you just shoot on coca leaves your whole life, you'd never have a cocaine problem, right? You only have a problem when man puts his hands on it, puts chemicals in it. People that do meth, I mean, that's straight poison. I don't know what the hell they're thinking.
That's bad.
Cannabis grows naturally all over the world, and it's good for. There's a strain for every ailment you have. You just got to find the right one for you. I mean, it's just, and I love sampling them all. I try them all.
Yeah,
it's almost like God knew what He was doing.
No, God's all over, baby, and that's half the thing. That's why, because the problem with cannabis is the fact that government can't make a lot of money off of it.
Yeah.
Right, and Big Farm can't make a lot of money off it. So that's why, if you think about even all the way back to the Reagan years of don't do drugs, right, especially weed, right.
Reefer madness.
Yeah, reefer madness,
ruined
like,
everybody.
So, I mean, that's some of the things that have happened and been in place. But, yeah, like I said, luckily we got a voice out there that don't give a shit what anybody says or, thinks. He's out there fighting regardless. And he's as reckless in a Senate committee hearing as he is on the field. And we appreciate him for doing it because he don't care. He's going to do everything he can to get in the end zone and help get that thing pushed across the goal line. And President Trump, if you're looking, we can't wait to come see you in the Oval Office. We're still looking for that invite,
We're looking for that meeting.
Come on, President Trump. Hook us up, baby.
All right, so, Jim Mack, we got you here, and I got to ask you because tonight we got the 49ers, we got the Rams playing on Thursday Night Football. Brock Purdy been dealing with an injury. Game just started here. You got Mac Jones, who started the season and was off last week, and now re-aggravation coming back in. As a quarterback, when you're a backup quarterback, or let's just say just in general, and you got to come in for another guy, what is that from a mental standpoint that you got to get ready to now take over a team whenever you're not necessarily, like on like a last minute, thing? How is that mentally as a quarterback? Do you prep for that?
Oh, you always prep to play. So you're always got to be ready to play, whether or not you're starting or you're the backup. You've got to go through your mental preparation. You got to go through the practices. You just got to be ready to play at all times. You never know. One play, the guy doesn't even have to get hit hard. He steps the wrong way. You can tweak something, and so you've always got to be ready, whether you're backup or you're the starter. You got to prepare like you're going to play the whole game.
What was your pregame? Did you have a pregame ritual, something that you kind of kept consistently before big games?
I would go out. I'd get to the stadium probably 3-4 hours early. I'd go out and kick. I love punting and kicking the ball. I used to drop kick all over the country. I hit a 55-yarder here in Dallas. It was great.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was playing for the Eagles at the time, and the Dallas kicker, I can't remember his name, came out, and he saw me drop kick one and hit it 55 yards. And he's like, that went in. I said, yeah, I don't need a holder. But, yeah, I just enjoyed just being out, just being around the guys, just BSing before games and just having fun.
Why? How did you, you were considered a character in a cast of characters. I mean, there was different personalities on that team, but how did you guys gel, bringing all those personalities together? We see some teams that can do it in the modern day well, and then we see some, I don't want to name them, Cleveland Browns, who can't figure out how to make personalities gel. How did you guys make personalities all gel together?
Well, like I said, we had a bunch of, like you just mentioned, a lot of characters, but we had a lot of characters with character.
There you go.
These guys were. They were solid. They worked hard, and we didn't want to lose. I mean, we played basically 4 games a week back then. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday was pretty much game day for us. It was we had pads on every day. We were hitting like it was a game. It was always ones against ones, and so we couldn't wait for Sunday. Sunday was like a day off for us. And because you play against that defense every day for 7 years that I was there. I mean, it gets pretty rough. But, yeah, we just had some great football players that had a lot of character. And, we worked hard, and we took it out on the other team on Sunday.
How did it feel for Mongo to finally get into the Hall of Fame right there towards the end?
I was glad he finally made it. I mean, his statistics, he should have been in years ago.
Yeah, agreed.
But what they told his wife, the committee, Hall of Fame committee, said there's too many Bears in there now. That's why it took so long. I'm like, are you kidding me? They started the league, so they got a lot of guys from the 20s and 30s that are in the Hall, right? But,
right.
I mean, they started the league, but that was their excuse why it took them so long to get in, which is ridiculous.
Well, the reality is they just don't like bad boys, right? So another thing Jimmy and I were talking about last night is like, my dad knew Jimmy was my hero, and we're watching the '85 Super Bowl championship, and my dad's like, your guy's going to get MVP, no doubt, right? And I'm like, yeah, man, because you rushed for 2 touchdowns. Who knows how many he threw?
Yep.
0. That was the problem.
We didn't throw any, but how many yards do you have?
Couple hundred.
Yeah. So, I mean, my dad's like, yeah, there's like not really a lot of choice, right? And again, Richard Denton, who I love as well, great Bear, but, you're kind of like defense, what? Like, what happened, right? And the reality is we already know. I mean, people don't like bad boys. They don't like people who don't conform. They don't like, if you're not with the corporate brand, they're not big fans. And, I think probably my biggest thing is when Mac showed up at, and again, 13 years old, and, my dad's a big Bears fan, so obviously I was a Bears fan. I was a big Walter fan. And then all of a sudden, here comes your quarterback showing up with the Bud Light in his hand. And I'm going, oh, shit, okay, this might be my guy. And then you start winning. Winning solves everything, right, no matter what. And then the other thing a lot of people don't realize about the Bears during that time is they were really the guys that set the whole marketing and the branding for professional and individual athletes that it is today. Probably didn't get paid the same as they do now, but
not even close.
A lot of the same, right? But those were the guys that led the charge even then because of their personalities, because people were catching on to them, because of, just the fun antics they were having, because that's the reality. They're just having fun. A lot of people can't figure out the equation, and corporations can't figure out the equation. Like, oh, we can't figure out why corporations struggling, because you guys aren't having fun. Yeah. You're not going to win if you're not having fun. And if your corporate team can have fun and your NFL team can have fun, and like the Dallas Cowboys, who absolutely couldn't freaking have fun if I dropped them off at a strip club myself, that's why they don't win, because there's too much individualism nowadays, right? That's the problem, I think, personally, in pro sports, especially with the NFL. And we got college guys coming out. Again, Jimmy and I are talking about it. Like, if you're a third rounder, you're probably losing money coming out of college.
You are, 100%.
Compared to where you were making in college at this point. So how much motivation can you have? And again, now everything is about me, and everything you do, right? And so as an athlete, I don't think there's as much like as a team concept anymore as it is like, I'm coming in, it's me, I want to get, And I think that's the problem with a lot of the pro sports now that I don't even watch it.
And I think what's so funny is then a guy like Baker Mayfield comes along, and everybody's like, boy, there's something about this guy. There's something different. I like that. You go, yeah.
Because he's having fun. He's doing what he wants to do.
He's got a chip on his shoulder. He plays the game with an edge. All that stuff that used to be the way quarterbacks played the game. And then when you become an outlier, everybody's like, well, there's just something to him. It's like, no, he's just playing the game the way it's supposed to be played.
Yeah. Well, again, he doesn't conform, right? And again, when you don't conform to what they want you to do, then, you're going to, then everybody's like, what's wrong with this person, right?
He had some rough years at Oklahoma. I do want to put that out there. We had some embarrassing moments in Norman where we thought he's a little bit of a knucklehead. But he's grown up.
Jenny's a college kid. What do you expect? That's the other thing.
What do you mean? At 19 years old, you're supposed to have it all together, TK.
Jesus, let me go ask my parents.
TK,
thank God for the Air Force at 19, because my God, I'd be still probably locked up if I wasn't in the Air Force paying attention.
I know you got to get going here in a minute, TK, but I know your boy Mac Jones starting for the 49ers.
I saw that. Just got one in. I'm proud of him, man. I love the underdog redemption story, no matter what. And, Mac Jones has taken his licks in the league. He was the heir apparent of Brady.
Yep.
Injuries, concussions, and, he just kind of has just been trying to figure it out and find his way right. And I think the best thing for Mac is by playing behind Purdy, he's got to heal up. He's got an opportunity to kind of heal up. And, that's the thing with Mac Jones. When he's healthy, kid's a beast. But he's never really ever been healthy.
Yeah.
If you think about it, right? And, he is a good friend of mine, and I'm so excited for him. I just saw that touchdown. I could be more excited for him because I do know what he's gone through personally. And, he still gets up every morning. He fights through it.
Yeah, and the thing, too, is with Mac, that unfortunately that quarterback class of 2021, I know it very well. Unfortunately, RIP to my Jets and Zach Wilson getting drafted second. But there's a lot of guys in there that have opportunity to be able to turn their careers around, Mac being one of the main ones. And people forget that right before Trey Lance got that package traded up for him, there was a big back and forth going on with the 49ers and Kyle Shanahan and Lynch and all those guys, because they thought that we all thought Mac Jones was going to be the choice there. But he wasn't. And they ended up going a little bit different route. I think one of the coolest things that's going on right now with Mac Jones is the fact that now he's in a system, right, that West Coast offense, that Shanahan offense that everybody thought from the very beginning was going to be what was going to make him right, and ended up they pass on him. They go the unconventional route. Maybe people thought that, we're going to get, a Colin Kaepernick type player here with Trey Lance. Didn't work out. But how cool is it now to be able to see him in a spot, not only that he has the opportunity, but it fits him?
Well, I think coaches are smart enough, and I'll let Jimmy answer this. Obviously, he's pro quarterback. But, the thing that's frustrating is you see a kid do a certain thing at college level that makes him great, and then
Right.
he comes to a team and they have a whole the offensive coordinator is like, this is my system.
Right.
And it's like, why did you draft this kid? Because that's not his system, and you're trying to force a square peg in a round hole, and wondering why this kid isn't, doing well, right?
Yeah,
and
the system is the key for a
the
quarterback.
systems, and I think the offensive coordinator's got to go. Purdy and Mac Jones are two different athletes,
Right.
So the system we have and offense we run for Purdy probably might not be the same offense we're going to run for Mac. So as an offensive coordinator, I have to be able to adjust my game plan to my quarterback and my situation compared to going, this is it. This is all we're doing no matter what. You either make it win or you don't. And too many, I think, pro coordinators, that's what they do. I got my system, that's it. And everybody's going to, square peg and round hole if they don't get it. And I think that's why a lot of great pro athletes sometimes have troubles because the system isn't fit for them. And instead of somebody let go of their ego to go, let me put a system together, this kid's going to win. This is my system, right? And you see it all the time. I mean, it's not hard to see on Sunday. Most kids can't even read a freaking defense anymore.
Oh yeah.
It's frustrating, right? And so, anyway, I mean, again, it's just like corporate. Like, I wouldn't hire somebody to fill this position if they weren't good at that position. I wouldn't hire somebody to go, well, you're good at this position, but I'm going to square peg you in this position because this is where I really want you. But this ain't going to be where your assets are, right?
Right.
It's the same thing in the NFL.
And we've seen it many times, right? I mean, I think over the past 2 years, we've probably seen more candidates for comeback player of the year.
Yeah.
And you had Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield found his spot. You've got this year Daniel Jones looking like he can figure it out. I mean, Mac Jones, who knows how healthy Purdy's going to be. And it's unfortunate, right? Because you got some of these kids that they are winners. Like, let's not forget about the fact that, I know Jim Mack, you can attest to this. You can be talented all day long, but if you're not a winner, winners figure out a way to win.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah, but system is the key for a quarterback. There's no doubt about that. Chicago, when I got there, it was worse. It was the worst offense I played in the whole time I was in the NFL. I mean, it was so basic. And I just come from an offense at BYU where we got to throw the ball every down pretty much.
Yep.
And then to go there and have to hand it off 90% of the time, I was bored out of my mind. Thank God I had Walter Payton to hand it off to because, it was not the place I wanted to be in. I'd love to be in a Frisco type offense, and that's what I grew up in. And my stats probably would have been a lot better, but I can't complain. We got a Super Bowl with the Bears, and I snuck another one in with the Packers in my last year of my career. So I was happy with it.
And thank God, he's smart enough to wear his Bears jersey underneath his uniform when he went for the Packers, because we know who we really represent. And then on the flip side, I do have a quick story to tell you because, Craig James plays in a celebrity game too.
Oh, yeah.
He's out of town this year. I can't remember what speaking engagement he's at, but he's devastated he can't play. But what's funny is, and I had kind of forgot about it last year, is Craig James came up and said, "Is that McMahon over there?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, I can't tell you exactly what he said, but he's like, that effing guy beat me twice in two of the biggest games I ever played in. And I had forgot the comeback from BYU on SMU, the Holiday Bowl, that Jimmy came in, and it's like 4th to something. They want to punt. Jimmy's like, we're not punting. F that. We're going for it. And they went and they come back with the Hail Mary and beat SMU. Craig James was in that game. Then he just got dominated in the freaking Super Bowl, right? I mean, he probably got like a -1 rushing yard. He should be glad he got that against the 85 Bears. But, they beat New England earlier that year, too. A lot of people forget. Yep. And then they dominated them again in the Super Bowl. And Craig James is like, "Oh, Jim McMahon, I got to go talk to him." And, then he went over, and then him and Jimmy were catching up on things. But it was kind of funny, like, "Is that effing McMahon over there?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Oh, 2 biggest games I ever played, and a guy freaking killed me in both games." He's like, let me go talk to him. I just started laughing like, okay.
Jim, let me ask you
Eric
this.
Dickerson does the same thing to me every time I see him. He brings up that game.
Yeah.
You guys stole that game.
Yeah. Well, then you guys beat them in because you played the Rams before you went to Super Bowl. And Eric Dickerson got the lowest total of yards. I mean, Mike Singletary was up his ass all day. And, everywhere he went, Singletary's over there waiting for him with a smile on his face. So, both SMU boys did not have a good time against McMahon and his Bears boys. So
I wonder, Jim, when you watch the college game with the Texas Techs, the air raid, do you kind of look at that and go, boy, that'd have been fun?
I don't watch it, but I can imagine if they're spread out. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It makes it so easy for a QB. You put 5 guys out wide, and you you know who's coming. It's pretty simple that way. But I would love to do that every down.
I mean, you think about like Marino, what Marino had, right? I mean, spread out like that with Duper and Clayton, and just, I mean, God, he's just a gunslinger, right?
We act like that. I love that in the last 10 years, everyone's like, man, spreading it out, throwing it all over. And you go, this stuff's cyclical. Like, there were teams that were doing a lot of that.
We were doing that in the mid-'70s.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Ditka came in with the old school. We were just all running power, right? Like again, like
we
Jimmy
just
said,
just beat
the 1950
and
60 offense, and we're just going to keep pounding it down the field, and and then Jimmy was like, shit, I'm bored. Let me change this play, and then hell, the game it would turn it around, right? Like I can't hand off anymore, Mike. I got to throw at least one a game.
Well, people would say, oh, how do they get so many yards running? You think, they got to play Buddy Ryan's defense every day in practice. I mean that. Whatever defense you square off against on Sunday,
everybody else was easy.
That's great.
Sundays were easy. Yeah.
It's like playing a JV team when you finally get out there. Like, thank God we got somebody else besides our defense to go
against. That's how good our O-line was because, those guys never lost a fight in practice. And we fought every play in practice. No, we had a damn good offensive line. When I first got there, we were struggling, but that second and third year, they started picking it up, and I mean, we led the league in rushing 4 straight years, which had never been done before or since. So, and that's a credit to those guys because we had a lot of 8-man boxes. We still ran the ball. Right. That's how good those guys were.
Yeah, love it.
And a lot of people don't understand. Jimmy's still top 10 winning percentage all the time.
Yeah,
right.
People don't put 2 and 2 together, but there are records from that team that they'll never be broke.
No.
And people say, oh, they had Walter Payton. You guys won that Super Bowl, and I love Walter Payton. But that wasn't the Walter Payton 10 years before that.
Well, he's still great, but the problem is you got 11 guys going, wherever 34 goes, that's where we're going. They're going to beat us passing, right? Jimmy's like, okay, well, we'll gunsling it on you.
That was New England's biggest concern. We stop Walter Payton, we win. And that hurt them because we had a lot of guys with talent. And Walter carried the ball, I think, 27 times in that game.
Yeah.
I think we could have given to him 100 times. I don't think he would have got in because that was their focus. Wherever he went, there were 6 guys chasing him, and his greatness made everybody else's job easy that day.
Yeah. I mean, that's actually people don't realize. Everybody's like, oh, poor Walter. Like, dude, Walter was the guy that helped the Super Bowl because he was such a draw because everybody was on him, right? Because they thought Ditka was going to go right and left all day, right? And they changed it up from earlier what they played him in the year. And, okay, if you're going to do this, if we're going to do this, and that was it.
Love it. Absolutely love it. TK, I know you guys have got to get
out. We got to
appreciate it. We got things to do, baby.
We thank you guys for having us.
We're absolutely glad to be here. David, thank you guys for always taking care of us, baby.
Here we go. Guys, we got some more special guests for you guys coming up on here as the 49ers take the field again. The offense, Mac Jones. Currently, 49ers are 7-0. I think we got Shane coming up here next. Waiting over here. There he is. What's up, Timba? We're on. Here he is. Huh? Mike? He's coming after this when we do the
Dave and Buster's Celebrity Softball Classic. We're watching football. We're talking to celebrities, athletes, all of it. It's happening. We're having a ton of fun. Jet, who we got right here?
This is my good friend, the legend that is Mr. Shane Crutchin. What?
Best looking guy in the room?
Oh, the American Rhino.
No, it's the War Rhino.
War Rhino. I call you because you are pro-America.
Very pro-America.
Yeah, see?
No doubt about that.
Duh. Big football fan?
Yeah, I dabble.
Dabble?
Y'all have a commonality.
We do have a commonality. In my younger days, I did some training and some a little bit of mixing it up. So I know there's no chance. Listen, I tell everyone the same thing. I have 10 minutes of fighting left in me. I'm saving it for a home invasion or a street mugging. I don't know that I'm ready.
You're gonna walk around. I walk around. I think
And there are those stories. There are those stories.
Life, I got a lot of hate in my heart sometimes.
Yeah.
A lot of hate in there. Come out, so I just need somebody to try me. Just do something stupid so I can face the beast. As in purge.
Yeah. And as popular as
100%.
MMA has gotten, I don't know why people still pick fights with guys in bars. Because and they usually, I always tell the same guys the same thing. Listen, before you decide to mix it up, look at the guy's ears.
Ears, eyes,
Yeah.
You see all my scar tissue. You start looking at people's fingers. My hands are jacked. You start looking at the size of my neck. People still fight. They're still like, "What's up, punk?"
This is not going to go the way you think it's going to go.
Beyonce is bigger than you. Just chill, bud. Like, I'm a big fan of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu and wrestling. Staunch background in both. Secondary black belt. But my thing is, I love to fold humans. I like the fold clothes, but with humans inside.
Yeah.
And I'm really good at that.
Take arms home with you.
No, I like limbs. Ankles are my
Oh,
specialty.
you an ankle guy.
Oh, ankle and legs, you're screwed. The second I touch your foot, it's going to snap. Yeah.
So wrestlers, when you have to fight a traditional wrestler, you're that guy that's going, I got something for you. If this goes
And
terribly.
I wrestled in Division 1. So I'm a D1 wrestler. I know wrestling. I'm very proficient in wrestling. I can scramble. I can play the game.
You're
but
that
I also,
dangerous guy that can take it where you want to.
I can play there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and scrap. Okay, I may not have the best hands, but I'll still punch you. I'll just eat a couple to get in to get what I need.
How long you been fighting?
So I fought professionally for 17 years. Retired in 2022 officially after I have a bad neck injury in a car wreck in 21. But I started wrestling when I was 3 years old and just went all throughout my life doing that stuff.
I'm from Oklahoma. We know a little bit about wrestling in the state of Oklahoma.
I'm from Wisconsin. We're better. We actually know wrestling. And we actually know corn. We actually know farming. But it's all right. No big deal. Oklahoma, that's cool. You guys know tornadoes.
We do have that weird thing.
Yeah, they do.
That scares people from the coast that have hurricanes. They're like, yeah, but tornadoes, man, that's a wild thing.
Well, and it's crazy. So, I'm 40 years old this year.
Me too.
Okay. I've lived through numerous tornadoes. I lived through an F4 when I was 9 years old. An F4 tornado ripped through my town. And if anybody doesn't know what an F4 is, go watch the movie Twister. It's absolutely insane. It destroyed a 46-mile trek. Right. I lived through a hurricane in Florida.
Very familiar with
I
those.
remember the hurricane passing through. I've lived through earthquakes in California. I've lived through big fires in California. I'm like, yo, I don't need a tsunami. So we can just keep that one out of my, I like check boxes, but we're gonna leave that check box off the Richter.
Unless it's Bronson Reed, right?
Oh, bro, dude,
That's a big boy.
That's a big guy.
that's a big boy coming at you. No, thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you.
I'm gonna say, man.
Now, do you still watch a lot of fighting?
I still dabble in fighting. I mentally I had to escape from fighting. I had to take myself back from it just because it really tossed me into a deep depression. And a lot of people don't know when pro athletes get out of their sport after so many years, it doesn't matter what sport it is. Any of the guys here this weekend, football, baseball, any sport, you have these guys. If you do this for most of your life, which I did for 90% of my adult life up to thus far, when you get out, it causes depression. When you don't do it on your own accord. When you can't do it on your own accord, you're forced into it. And a lot of these guys are forced into retirement, injury, family, medical situation. It causes depression. So, and just like a lot of these guys, I know Daniel's the same way, McCutcheon, you have to kind of remove yourself from that element for a while in order to find your love for it again. And I think, the organizations like the Celebrity Softball Classic showed me that I can love the sport I had because I can give back to so many good individuals. And you have Dave and Buster's coming in saying, hey, we believe in this as well. And you see the fans. I mean, you guys have seen me for a couple of years now. I kind of get fan love. Yeah. Because I'm very tame. I'm very low key. I don't do anything crazy. So I don't know why they love me, but I'll keep it going.
Now, how do you feel about the state of MMA right now?
Oh, state of MMA. Ooh, state of MMA is scary. You see it. You watch these, ups and downs of the sport.
Yeah.
Wrestling has come back,
which is
bar none.
So good to see.
It is good to see. And for a while, it was a strikers era for a good 8 years.
Yep.
If you didn't know striking, good luck. But you had the Rory McDonalds that started bringing in the striking era. Now you have Topuria. You have all these guys that are just absolute savages. I don't want to say what I call them, but the 170 world champ, or the guy who just beat, gosh darn it, in the UFC. I call Kamswat. I call him a different name, but he, everybody just knew him as a wrestler.
Yeah.
And he came in and showed, like, dude, I don't care where you are. I'm not even going to wrestle you, but I'm going to put hands all over you until you're done. And that's scary. When you get a complete package fighter, when I was in, I became a professional athlete in 2005, professional fighter. You were very one-dimensional, and you had knowledge of a second dimension. A lot of these guys watched us growing up.
Yeah.
So they started at 5-6 years old in MMA, not in wrestling, not in karate, not in a sport. They trained MMA as a whole, which makes them scarier, which makes these fights that we're seeing today just devastating. But I love the Bo Nichols getting in, coming out of NCAA. You have these guys, and Bo Nichols, I don't care. Everybody's like, oh, his height train's derailed. I'm like, dude, do you even know anything about Bo Nichols? This guy, within 30 minutes, I don't know you, Bo. I want to know you because you're awesome. But if people don't know that wrestling mentality, within 30 minutes of after this fight, I guarantee this guy was on a treadmill, probably running, trying to figure out how he can go back and win that fight 23 different ways, because that's what wrestlers do. And Bo Nichols has shown that wrestlers are back. Who's the guy who just had his debut? Former NCAA D1 national champ.
Oh, I know you're talking about.
Gosh darn it.
I remember his name.
Big old boy.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And he came in and he fought a guy that was, a stud. And the guy looked like he had never fought before. He just went, whap, bam, on your head. He goes, milk him to the mat, and just punched him. And then he's like, the guy stood up. He's like, no, let's go back down. But if you get these guys that actually understand and are able to transition, Aaron Pico is another good case.
Yeah.
I love Aaron Pico. I fought Aaron Pico. I think I have utmost respect for Aaron Pico. Aaron Pico has hands. Nobody realizes that guy's an NCAA wrestler, champion. When Chuck Liddell, another good friend of mine, Chuck, what was he known for? That overhand right.
Yep.
Overhand right, left hook. Bop, bop, and he would hit everybody with it. Nobody realized Chuck Liddell was an NCAA wrestler.
Yeah.
He never needed it.
Yeah, out of Cal Poly, and really only started striking because someone told him, hey, we got enough wrestlers.
John Hackelman.
Yeah, Hackelman said, hey, we got enough wrestlers. You need to be able to punch. But when guys would shoot on him, he could nullify that takedown so fast that all of a sudden guys are now out of their element, and his stance was weird.
His leg kicks were just.
I would tell guys when I was training, they would go, I want to be like Chuck Liddell. I go, good news. No one will ever be that guy.
No.
Because he had a chin that didn't make any sense for a guy that left himself so wide open in the way that his setup was and how wide everything came from and the weird angles. Keith Jardine was another one.
Keith Jardine.
Great NCAA wrestler. Weird style.
But just was great at striking.
And Matt Hughes used to say it way back when, American wrestling will nullify everything else. And unless you've ever been on the bottom with a Division I or Division II high-level wrestler, the pressure, it does not make sense how heavy their hips are. You feel like you can't breathe.
Yeah.
And it wears you out. And then when you get up, you look at them, they're not even breathing hard.
No.
Because they've been down on a mat doing that since they were 5 years old.
Chael Sonnen said something
100%.
recently in an interview. And Chael Sonnen goes, you've never been in a fight until you're underneath a D1 wrestler. They're doing whatever they want to do.
Yep.
and you've never felt more helpless in your life. You could be drowning and feel like you have a better chance in life than with a D1 wrestler on top of you.
Right.
And I totally agree. And it's insane. I remember I fought at Madison Square Garden New Year's Eve 2016, 2017, and it was really cool. We were the second ever sanctioned fight, and it was on pay-per-view, all the shabam, all the cameras are out, and I walk out, and Randy Couture and Chuck Liddell are there to support me. They're good friends of mine. They're there to support, and they're cheering me on. And I walk out against this guy who just came over from Bellator. He'd been in the big show for a lot longer than me, and I was like, okay, I have to prove something.
Yeah.
I have something to prove, and if I don't prove it, and I knew this guy is a world-class kickboxer. He had knockouts from just leg kicks. And I was like, all right, hold my beer. I was like, welcome to wrestling. And by the end of the fight, this guy comes up to me, and I took him down to, I think, 23 times in the fight, 23 takedowns. I just kept smashing him. And I asked him if he wanted to go grab a beer in the second round. I'm hitting him in the head. After I take him down, I was like, you want to grab a beer after this? And the announcer goes, I think Shane's talking to him. And I was like, and I looked up, I go, yep. And I just kept hitting him. But people don't realize you can put yourself in a weird predicament, because I take him down, he punched me in the face, and I just start laughing at him. And I'm bleeding, and I'm just laughing. Wrestlers can put themselves in a different mentality than normal people. Rory McDonald showed that strikers can do the same. But in order for a striker to get there, I have to give credit where credit's due. MVP.
Yeah.
I don't like his cockiness, but holy crap, is he good.
Yep.
I have to give him credit, because he showed you can have fun, you can still fight, win or lose. That guy's going to put on a show. He's going to put butts in seats, and he's going to knock people out.
I'll put you on the spot, and then I'm sure you got stuff to do. The rise of the Russian style.
Oh my gosh.
Do you think that's contributed a little bit to the American guys going, hold on a second, and kind of tightening the belt a little bit and going, American wrestlers, we have something to prove again in mixed martial arts?
Yeah, I don't even know if it's that. I think U.S. took their foot off the gas.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, they took their foot off the gas pedal, got complacent, kind of was like, haha, we're striking, look at us play. Then you had people like Khabib come over to the United States. Mm-hmm. People like Khabib start playing around, start coming in hot, and they start playing that game. And then everybody's like, wait, Khabib's onto something. How's he winning the title? And this guy's saying 3 words. And then all of a sudden you watch Khabib go, oh, I have friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, and you're watching these friends, Khabib's exact things, and everybody complains. So there's something I tell my guys when they start winning. I've coached some guys, and when they start winning, and they're doing the same stuff that I teach dirty fighting. I love dirty fighting. There's no such thing as illegal. There's only gray area, and I play really well in the gray area. And I teach the old school stuff to these young kids, and they use it, and you even see the refs get confused. They're like, wait, is that legal? It's very legal, because I've read the MMA book. I know. And you watch these guys complain about what the Dagestan guys are doing.
Yeah.
How they're just going for the legs. Okay, cool. Yeah, they're just going for it. Stop it.
Yeah.
Right.
If you don't like it,
you
Yeah.
got to stop it.
you have to come up with a defense.
You have to
for
stop it.
Yeah.
And the same thing in jiu-jitsu. I got DQ'd for surfing a guy because I was beating him, and I jumped up on his head and put my one foot on the back of his head and the one foot on his stomach and stood up and surfed him. And somebody just went viral last week for doing that at a Fight to Win. And I was like, whoa, hold on, homie. I've done doing this for a decade. You hold my beer, bud. And I posted that on the post, and everybody's like, whoa. And this guy actually sent me props. He's like, you're right. He goes, I got that from a different, somebody different. And it's cool to see the evolution. I've been doing jiu-jitsu now 23 years.
Yeah.
It's easier to tell you what I haven't, sprained, hurt, anything. But it's cool to see the evolution. It's cool to see these young kids, see kids classes with over 100 kids in it.
It's so much fun.
Yeah, bro. Like my daughter has now quit jujitsu, unfortunately. But hey, you know what? I love my daughter. I love Balin. She dedicated herself to soccer. She's killing it. I've had to start learning soccer. I don't know anything about that stuff. All I know is that I watch these little girls just get just destroyed, stepped on, kicked in the head, everything. They don't come. They get up and run, and I'm like, "Yo, how's the U.S. Olympic team falling like they just got shot by a sniper?" I was like, "Oh, you guys need to come watch these little girls play."
Right.
I was like, "Cause they're harder than you." But no, it's funny. And you ask about football, so I'm a diehard Bears fan.
Hey, that's what I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
Hey, man. A diehard Bears fan from Wisconsin. I'm the black sheep of my family. I love the Bears. Born and bred. I'll die Bears every day. But I'm used to losing. I'm good with disappointment.
Same.
I don't agree with some of their draft choices. I think they put way too much stake at the quarterback level. They need to stop investing their entire payroll in a quarterback that sucks. Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. But they need to stop investing in a quarterback. Kind of spread it out, spread the love. Get a second string. Get a backup that's been around the league for a couple
Our backup
years.
right now is
way better.
really good.
Way better.
And he's fun to watch.
Fun.
I mean,
the Browns to not pick Sanders is devastating. He proved himself in preseason, and the Browns they bench Flacco, and they don't even call up Sanders. They call up a different quarterback.
I think as Bears fans, we do enjoy, though, that there's a team in Cleveland that, however bad our organization
they're always worse.
They're always way worse. I mean,
I'll take it.
Don't worry, I'm in third place with the Jets, so we're just back here.
And it's funny because I've always been a firm believer. You got to have an AFC and NFC team.
Yeah.
So obviously Bears, the Bears, and then you go and I supported the San Diego Chargers because I lived in San Diego. I had season tickets for 11 years when I lived there. And I remember when Spanos first said, "Hey, we're moving the team to LA," I gave up my seat. I had front row in the end zone, right behind the dude. I was paying premium for these seats, but I loved them. I had 2 seats side by side every game, and any game I wasn't able to, I sold them. Gave those up, and then the Chargers called me right when they were going to LA for the first season, and they said, "Hey, what can we do to get you back as season ticket holder? We can give you the same seats, massage
dance.
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, easy." I said, fire Spanos, get rid of him, make him sell the team, and then just put the team back in San Diego. We're good, and I'll buy 10
You'll be
years.
right back on the front row.
Yeah, no problem. And she starts laughing. She goes, "You and every other caller that I've talked to."
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say the lady's name, but that was a Chargers employee. And I've went up to watch other teams play the Chargers just to watch them lose. I remember I put out on Twitter, I said, "Hey, diehard Chargers fan, been betrayed. Anybody want a diehard fan?" I said, "I'm a Bears fan, but I said, anybody want a diehard fan on the West Coast? I'm here." The frickin' Arizona Cardinals PR team, bless their heart, tweets me back. And they said, "Bird Gang always here, accepting new people. Check your DMs. Can't wait to see you in the red and white." And dude, they sent me a 50% coupon for anything I wanted in the Arizona Cardinals thing, and they sent me free tickets to the first game. So I got to go to the Arizona Cardinal game, dude. And I bought like 4 jerseys. I was like, okay,
shout out
cool.
Justin Bethel.
Yeah, I was like, Bird Gang it is. All right, let's go, baby. And so I have 2 of the worst teams that I'm a diehard fan of, and you're not going to break that of me. And I'm a diehard Brewers fan. Finally, we're doing better. We actually have a bye for once, but I see that we're gonna
playing my Cubbies.
We're playing the Cubs, bud. They just beat the Padres. He looked so sad. I'm actually really glad though that the Brewers aren't playing the San Diego Chargers.
It would have felt
or San Diego
wrong.
Padres. Well, anytime the Brewers come to San Diego, the San Diego has their number. I don't know why. In that stadium is cursed for Midwestern teams. That stadium, the air is way different.
Yeah.
Yankees come to town. They suck. In that air is different. Like to hit the balls out. They've actually had to bring San Diego Padres Stadium in 15 feet because people weren't able to hit home runs because the air is different than the Midwest and East Coast. So when they brought that in, and they still can't smoke home runs. it's random, but yet you got these Padres that are just smoke, smoke, smoke because that's what they do every day. But do you get these guys? So I was really rooting. I was like, please, Cubs, please, so they actually have a chance.
But I think it'll be a fun series. You know,
Yeah.
you know, it's close.
It's a
fans-
rivalry.
I don't think people realize St. Louis has been bad for
Yeah.
so long now.
Yeah.
That rivalry. Now, from a fan perspective, the old school guys like my dad, that rivalry doesn't calm down.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's been the Brewers the last 5-10 years.
Yeah.
And it's a fun one. It's two iconic uniforms.
Yeah.
It's a ton of fun. I think playoff baseball doesn't get enough love. I think it's one of the best things in sports, and I'm really excited for that series. I really want Boston to beat New York.
Please.
Oh, yeah. Boston
Please.
has to beat New York. We're watching this bottom of the third right now. You know, in Boston, this is a win-all, be-all game right here.
Yeah.
I need Breggers to show up real big. Shout out my.
Yeah, we need Judge. Yeah, I'm not saying get hurt, but I'm saying like you know, overswing a little bit. You know, maybe pop a shoulder, something.
Groin
fixable.
injury. Remember that's the
We'll-
thing.
we'll
in
take the
baseball,
groin again.
Yeah, it's their
injury.
hamstring.
That's
No, I
the
need
ha-
his
yeah.
his big toe to get hurt, and then we're good.
Yeah.
Step on a Lego walking out.
Before we let you go, Celebrity Softball Classic.
Oof.
Why'd you start doing it? What do you love about it?
I got contacted by a good buddy of mine who's done this a few times, Mojo Riley and Gordy Gronkowski, and they're like, "Hey,
Shout out.
I think we need you there." And I was like, "Need me where?" And they're like, "Listen, this is right when I was about to retire." And they said, "Hey, would you want to come out? Would you want to be part of this?" Put me in touch with TK. TK goes, "Wait, what? Who's on?" And I told him who's on the phone. He goes, "I know who you are." He goes, "I watched your last title fight." And I was like, "Well, thank you," you know. And he's like, "No, yes, we need you." And he explained what Celebrity Softball Classic does, how they give back. And I was like, "Yeah, okay, everybody gives back." And I came out the first year, which is 4 years ago now. Jeez Louise. And I remember coming out and I was like, yo, they really do give back. And I see all these organizations. I see all these smiles. We were at the Texas Stadium, at the Ranger Stadium the first time I was here.
Yep.
And I'll never forget the faces on these people, so happy to see all of us. And I met so many great people that now I'm good friends with. Now I travel with. I see these people on a regular basis. I think the fact that we're giving back, and this year I think we've definitely shattered the $1 million
Yes.
of donations. Being able to give back to organizations of less fortunate people, we've had a way of life in our sports, in our perspective sports, that most people will never be able
Yeah.
to have. In order to give back, in order to make that all validated, you have to give something. If we can give part of our time, this weekend is our time. We give our time, we give our, you know, our stuff. And if anybody is wondering, and I'll just, and TK can say whatever he wants to say, we don't get paid to be here. We pay to be here. We pay for our rooms, our travel, our stay, everything. And we do this constantly. We pay to come in. Every single person on the roster pays to be here to give back.
Yeah.
Why? Because Celebrity Softball Classic can be sponsored by these great companies you have right behind me. They can come in, they can walk in and give $1 million back to all these organizations. Most organizations, they're like, oh, we have a celebrity game. They're wasting 75% of their budget.
Or higher.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
Yeah, 75 to, I'm going to say 90 to be nice. And I know more than that on some of them, in order to bring in these high profile people. I mean, we got Terrell Owens coming. We have these guys that are coming in, like Kofi Anderson is a great friend of mine. I know these guys have way better things to do in their life. You know, but they always carve out a weekend. I was in DC last night. Like, I was supposed to be in DC this weekend. I said, "Hey guys, I'm out." They're like, "For what?" And I was like, "I got to go donate my time and money." And they're like, "For?" And I told them, they're like, "Yeah, yes." You know,
Yeah.
Nobody shuns you. Nobody gets mad at you. But yet we're here to donate. Celebrity Softball Classic is something I can't, ever since the first time. And I saw a post, how many rings you got? And I'm like, yo, this year I'm going to have 4. I got a necklace pennant. You know, I'm walking out like a freaking baller here. I got more rings than Jim McMahon. Just saying. Love you, Jim, wherever you are. Don't punch me. But you know, it's crazy because I'm starting to feel like Jerry Rice over here, just going like this. But it's crazy to just know how many souls I've touched, how many lives I've been able to influence, children I've been able to, and they just see me being me. and being able to inspire them. I think that's why Celebrity Softball Classic is such an inspirational thing that must happen, must be done constantly.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Thank you so much for your time.
Heck
Shane,
yeah.
appreciate you, brother.
Yeah,
Always.
this weekend is going to be a lot of fun. And tell everybody where they can find you on social media.
Absolutely. Hey, guys, find me on social media, SCrutchin MMA on Twitter. I don't use it that much, but, man, find me anyways. War_Rhino on Instagram and True Social, and then just Shane Crutchin on Facebook.
Thanks, buddy.
Appreciate you, brother.
Absolutely,
Appreciate
man.
you so
Always
much.
a pleasure.
Appreciate you guys.
Be good.
Heck yeah. Don't do
Enjoy
anything
the
I
rest of
wouldn't
your
do.
weekend.
All right, guys.
All right, guys. As we keep this show all rolling, right now it seems as though the Los Angeles Rams are imploding, Aaron.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. 49ers up 14-0. I don't know. I mean, I thought the Rams were going to be able to make a game of this. That is not the case so far, even in the slightest.
Chewing.
You're chewing.
I'm trying to be polite. And joining us here next to me, you people that follow us here at Washington Sports may know him as Mr. Pink from our girl Pink streams. But around here, he's Bang Bang Mike's a Niner gang. Mr. 49er himself on the Washington Sports Network family. We got Mike.
Yep.
Big Mike.
Yep. Enjoying this. Nice to meet you guys.
Nice
Finally.
to meet you.
Finally.
I've heard a lot, so
We've talked a lot.
yeah,
Look at your
exactly.
49ers
Look at
here,
them, dude.
man.
Dude, they are doing really well. I didn't expect this. Let's be honest about that. We're missing a lot of guys healthy. That we'd really be punching through. They're actually doing really well for what I was expecting at this point in time.
And so hats off to Mac Jones, who Juwan Jennings is out.
Yep.
You've got
Brandon Ayuk
Brandon
out.
Ayuk still out.
Yep.
Pearsall's still out.
Yep.
Who in the heck's he throwing
Kittle.
the ball to?
Kittle's gone.
Kittle's gone.
Right? But look at Jake Tonjes. I mean, the way
Yeah.
that he's been playing is absolutely phenomenal. He stepped right in and already started making plays right from the get-go.
Right.
So, yes, we miss Kittle, but to have somebody of that caliber to be able to just step up was phenomenal.
Right.
Absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, you got a lot of guys you could tell that got the message of, hey, this is one of those situations where next man up, your time to get some playing time. Never know what that could turn into.
You don't.
We're just a couple of weeks into the season, long season. As you get guys back, they're going to be guys who are earning playing time right now.
Yeah.
And Mack is doing exactly what he should be doing, which is playing inside the offense, playing inside of himself, not trying to do too much.
Yep.
People forget he's been in the league now a while,
He has.
considered one of the, kind of a veteran.
He is, and he's one of the ones that I think he's one of those sneak players.
Yeah.
Somebody that you didn't expect for this to
Yeah.
happen, yet he got the opportunity. And that's something that's always been, at least with the Niners, the opportunities that these guys have had, the chance. I mean, even Brock Purdy, right? We can talk about
Yep.
him all day long, but being the last pick of the draft and third string, right? I mean, same thing when he was in college. He was, a third string quarterback that ended up getting an opportunity, being able to jump in on it. He's shown really well, but you have those opportunities where Steve Young was able to jump in, right?
Right.
Yep.
And be able to take over from Montana, and you didn't miss a beat. They actually made things a lot more difficult because he was one that actually could get out of the pocket.
Yeah, he kind of brought, they obviously had weapons all over the field those years, but then he brought that like run scramble element to it.
Yep.
And even if you knew how to scheme against that 49er offense, they had this extra layer that you were like, well, now this is going to make this a lot harder.
Exactly.
I mean, it was a fun time. I will say, the Rams, for whatever reason,
Aren't looking like themselves.
am I wrong that a couple of years ago we thought this was like, this
Oh,
was
yeah.
going to be a thing. They were going to rip off, and this was going to be, and it's,
They haven't really hit that big stride that you thought. And I mean, the wide receiver group that they have, when Cooper Kupp left, you were thinking, okay, it wasn't going to be a thing. But Tutu Atwell is one that
Yeah.
don't just think for a second that he's not going to blow right by you, because he will.
Yeah.
And if Stafford gets an opportunity to throw it down the field, you're done for. You're not going to catch him.
I think the problem though with the Rams that I see is they really rely a lot off of getting Stafford into play action to open up the receiving game.
Mhm.
And I think that's where they really benefit having, Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua on the outsides. Because I mean, when you've got Kyron Williams and Blake Corum running the ball efficiently, it makes things really easy for Stafford, right? I mean,
Yep.
and again, like this is not the same Stafford that we saw, in his heyday with Detroit. This is also the same Stafford we saw whenever he first initially got traded to the Rams,
Yeah.
and iconically won that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
This is a very different team, and to your point, Tutu Atwell, yeah, another guy that can really get the job done for this Rams team on the streak routes. But I think right here, the 49ers, I guess staff, we'll say it that way, know this Rams team really well.
Yeah.
They're very familiar.
Yeah.
McVay and Shanahan, both being on that iconic Redskins team back then.
Yep.
And, one could argue that McVay's had the more successful career in a much shorter amount of time, i.e. one's got a ring, one doesn't.
Yeah.
But, Aaron, what for you do you think has been the difference maker between what McVay's done and Shanahan? Because honestly, I don't think GM being willing to make moves has been a difference maker between the two, because they both seem to be, at a spot where both team GMs are willing to do what they need to take to win games.
Yeah, I mean, they are from the same coaching tree. They kind of approach it very differently. McVay runs a very complicated offense, like historically complicated. Baker Mayfield famously said, I spent 2 days learning all these plays and we ran none of them. But I realized really quickly that he's got an incredibly complex offense. Shanahan, I mean, the biggest problem 49ers have always had is the joke of the league is McCaffrey going to be healthy? And I think he's figured out he can't count on that anymore.
Yeah.
And so he's changed the offense enough where they it's not like with other teams that have a future Hall of Famer at running back where he goes out inevitably at some point with a calf strain and your offense just falls apart.
Yeah.
Now, they had a couple of years where I thought they really underachieved, but then they have had years where they really overachieved. I mean, I'm from Oklahoma. We're very familiar with Brock Purdy at Iowa State. No one saw that kid come in. He came into Norman and absolutely lit it up. And Shanahan is very creative he schemes an offense for the skill set of his quarterback. He's not locked into, this is what I'm going to run no matter who's at quarterback. I mean, the playbook they're running right now with Mac is very different.
He'll run down the same in the same esque area. The thing is the reason why he wanted Mac is because the fact of the matter that whether you have Brock on the field or you have Mac on the field, he can run the same stuff.
Well, and Mac in college had a cannon for an arm.
Oh yeah.
That was, and he's we were talking about it with Jim McMahon. He's one of those guys went to some bad situations and you get caught in the spiral of I'm at the wrong place. You're at the wrong place, but you're stuck. And then you get San Francisco. Now you're backing up.
Yep.
And it's no pressure now.
But still, at that point in time, even though he's a backup, look, he's already won 2 of his games, right? And he's fixing to win his 3rd if he continues to keep doing this and the defense stays where it's at. But like to what you were saying, I mean, that's like that Barry Sanders syndrome.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, poor guy, man. Everybody else that was good around him kept getting let go. And they're like, no, we're going to hold on to this one gem. He's going to win this game for us and blah, blah, blah. And, poor guy. I think if Barry went anywhere else, he would have been even more of a star than what he was in his day, because I don't think anybody could have touched the man with his running style, the way he could bounce off of stuff. I mean, it was just absolutely insane.
Yeah. And San Francisco, for whatever reason, every year everyone wants to count them out, but they still have a lot of pieces. And to Jet's point, they have a GM that's willing to put some pieces around that need to be done. They're not I don't want to call out certain teams in the NFL where they don't want to spend money, Cincinnati Bengals, but where GMs go, this is my payroll, this is what I got, this is what you got to work with. We're going to go get skill position guys that can put butts in seats, and we can sell jerseys to make fans get excited.
Yep.
Halfway through the season, when the roster starts to thin out because guys get injured, everybody's like, well, why aren't we good? Well, all your money's in these 5 positions. You have no depth anywhere.
Yep.
I tell people all the time, my favorite offseason for the Chicago Bears was the last year because I knew no one that they signed.
Really?
And I was like, this is great. These are all offensive linemen from the Midwest that are not names anyone knows.
Yep.
I was tired of hearing, especially in the Cutler and the Rex years, where we'd be like, oh, well, we're bringing in and some big name wide receiver. And I'd think,
here we go again. Money's gone.
We're all going to put in these 3 guys. Offensive line's still going to be terrible. San Francisco.
They run kind of a Moneyball situation,
Yeah.
right? They got rid of Debo, who was the number 1, right?
Yep.
But the thing that I truly love about the team, and I always have, is that a lot of the times you get your guys like Kyle Juszczyk, George Kittle, right? All these guys that have re-signed, recontracted to be able to open up more room.
Juwan Jennings.
Right. All of these guys. They all are ready to do that, right? And that's the big thing is that when they talk about this being a team, that is one together, that bar none. I mean, these guys are willing to take less money to stay here because they truly have their love for the team.
It's a sign of a great organization when guys go into negotiation and go, I'm willing to take a team-friendly deal because I know my GM and my owner are going to put that money on the field. We're not just because we're not giving it to me doesn't mean that we're not putting it somewhere. We're putting it back on the field. We compare that to what we saw with the Micah Parsons thing. I think Micah looked at the situation and thought, I don't know that if I don't get everything I can get where it's going to go different. I don't know. And, teams like San Francisco that say, hey, we're going to try to build a team. We're going to try to have depth because the NFL's a long season. More guys get hurt. I feel like I could just be getting old, but I feel like more guys get hurt than ever.
It's unbelievable how many ACL and Achilles injuries we've had over the past 2 seasons.
Tyreek Hill's leg.
That is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
Dude, we said it on Hear Me Out. I said, dude, he's torn everything in that knee. He has.
And they said 2 weeks later he'll be back.
That's not. I just don't see how.
I don't
there's
either.
There's no way.
I mean, when you won't show the replay, that's always like the
telltale sign.
Because my wife, she's sitting over here. So we were watching the highlights from. I think we were watching the Arkansas game, and basically Arkansas receiver had very similar looking thing. And I said, how bad is it? She said, well, bad enough that they're not showing it.
Jeez.
And when Tyreek, everything I saw on Twitter was just screenshots from the very beginning, like the initial play in real time.
Yep.
And I thought, that's almost mangled. There's no way.
I've never seen a leg look like that before. You know what I mean? Like
it looked like someone had photoshopped it.
Yeah.
And he looked like I told Aaron, I said, dude, on Hear Me Out, we said it looks like his bottom half turned into a pretzel. It was wild.
I mean, and if you watch it, where they have another sideline view of as he's kind of coming and how it actually happens, because his leg starts to extend out, and then all of a sudden you just see it just kind of crumple, and and it was like,
he went into what they call the gator roll.
Yeah,
and that was the problem. And and I'll say this: I'm gonna pick on my own team for a bit. The New York Jets cornerbacks over the past 2 seasons have done this, and this year it's been exceptionally bad. And I pray to God that Aaron Glenn gets it figured out. But these cornerbacks are the most handsy quarterbacks in the National Football League. It's unbelievable how handsy these guys are. I mean, Sauce Gardner is 6th in the NFL in pass interference penalties right now.
Oh my gosh,
it's unreal.
And it is weird, because I'm seeing a lot at the college level. Defensive backs are very handsy, but I think for whatever reason the calls are not consistent from one set of officials to the other.
No.
And I think you see defensive backs are real handsy at the beginning of the game, and if it's not an excessive amount of calls, like if you're getting 1 PI call for every 8, then you're doing that math in your head going, okay, well, if that's how you're going to call the game,
I can get away with it.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'd rather take this, than now in college, it's not the same, it's a 15-yarder, but it's not from the spot of the foul like it is, at other levels. So I understand a little bit more. But to be fair, I mean, we've changed every rule to where the offensive side of the ball, wide receivers in particular, have every advantage.
Yeah.
I don't know how defensive backs
can really do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I understand the whole what is it, a 5-yard rule where you can have it up to 5 yards, but then outside of that you can't. But I mean, you watch some of the times the way that the wide receiver is pushing, shoving on them when they're getting down, and they don't get called either, right? So I mean, at the end of the day, I get it. We're not wanting to get hurt and stuff, but let these guys. I mean, the football of the 80s and 90s and the old bricks. And,
very different.
Yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Deion Sanders would have not. I mean, he would have adapted, obviously, but he would have been just pulling his hair out if ever, because he would have just been one after the other. But and the fact that defense is getting away with some stuff now, nobody at any level of football can figure out what a targeting penalty is at any level.
Right.
I still. It seems every week in college and in NFL, there's something where I'll go, well, that's definitely targeting, not called. And then, well, that's not targeting. No, it is. So it puts, teams that play a fast, aggressive style of defense, I think it's going to look a little more sloppy maybe than we want it to. But, wide receivers have never been bigger, stronger, faster than they are now.
Oh, yeah.
And guys like Travis Hunter, you have guys that are coming in. There's not a whole lot of guys lining up to play shutdown corner. That's not like.
Well, and the last time we saw a dual threat like that was with Deion. So I'm hoping the best for him. I really am.
But are you like us, where you say he's going to have to pick the side of the ball?
Here's the thing. Like back in the day, you had guys. Like Bo Jackson that played football and baseball, right?
Yeah.
And then you got Deion Sanders who was doing it as well. So I like being able to have that opportunity where he's able to play the field. The one thing that would really suck is if he got offensive rookie of the year and defensive rookie of the year, right?
Yeah.
Because he was doing both sides of it.
Well, and then how does he negotiate a contract?
Exactly, right? I can play both sides. You should pay me double, right? And it doesn't make sense to me. But in the grand scheme of things, being able to see how these guys can actually stay moving, and of course it's a limited amount. He's not on every play offensively and defensively. But if you think about it, when somebody that is that good and can cover a receiver, which he's also a receiver, and understanding kind of what it is that he's looking at from the opposite side of it, I think it's a very good chess game that he actually can play.
Well, and Deion in Atlanta for sure, and then those first few years in San Francisco, people would yes, he played two positions, but he really just played wide receiver on both ends. That was his whole mindset.
Exactly.
I'm playing the ball's
I just want
up.
the ball. It's in the air. I want it.
I'm not trying to stop that guy from catching it. I'm trying to go get it.
Yep.
And Travis does play it that way. I get a little nervous. I had a coach tell me a long time ago, you only have so many snaps before your first injury.
Yeah.
And I look at Travis and go, boy, we're really speeding that up, aren't we?
Yeah.
Like, you might not you could have 500 snaps before your first injury. You're playing both sides of the ball. That
opportunity is definitely out there more.
And he can't keep weight on. Couldn't in college. He talked about the amount of calories he consumed just to maintain weight, playing both sides of the ball.
Just ridiculous.
I mean, he's still rail thin. He's got kind of that Kevin Durant syndrome where they're like, "Oh, Kevin Durant put on 15 pounds." You're like, "Where?" Because it doesn't look. I don't know where.
It's only in muscle. You can't tell. Muscle weighs more than fat, right?
But I think it's fun. I'm a Chicago Bears fan.
Okay.
I'm born in '85. That team turns 40 this year, just like I do.
There we go.
I've been a defensive guy my whole life. I love defense. And I will say this, San Francisco holding them to 7, and it really doesn't look out of control.
No.
They, have got obviously he's throwing to obviously Mac is throwing to some guys he probably wouldn't be throwing to that
typically.
Yeah, you're going to have some guys not be able to make some plays, but I mean, you go into half, you're up 7, the game feels like you should be up 14.
Well, they truly need to score on this drive right now
Yeah.
because if not, they're kicking after halftime to LA, which is starting off the second half
Giving
with
them
the ball.
Yeah,
So
giving them a chance to get the momentum back early.
I will say though, Kendrick Bourne last week I was not a fan, and he's been showing a lot already this game that I'm kind of sad I didn't pick him up as one from my fantasy as like a third string, like a flex option, you know. Because right now I think I'm running either Wandell or Darius Slayton as my flex because I lost from Tampa Bay Mike Evans.
Yeah.
Lost Mike Evans from Tampa Bay, so he's out. Of course, I picked up Brandon Ayuk, but I left him on IR and hoping that he's going to be coming back. And then Bucky Irvin got hurt, so I had to remove him. I had Kinshawn Judkins from the Browns, so I moved him into RB2 now. And I just had to kind of figure out that flex spot after that because I was kind of in trouble then, on trying to figure out what I was going to do. But I should have just gone with my gut instinct and picked up Kendrick Bourne and threw him in there because I knew we were going to be, tossing the ball.
Right.
But
how do you feel about Tampa Bay? We were talking about this on one of the shows last week. I want them to make a playoff run so bad because I want the Baker storyline to just keep going.
That's what it is.
Obviously, I'm from Oklahoma, full disclosure, but it's the most unlikely story maybe in the history of the league.
Yeah.
When you look at it started and then everyone thought it was over and then he moves around the league and then he's in
all
Tampa.
Of a sudden...
And they're a lot of fun to watch. I don't know if it's sustainable to keep looking at him and going, we need a game-winning drive.
And he can get it for you.
That's what's crazy. In your head, you go, this isn't long-term. You can't keep doing this.
But you have to. You got to pay the man. And I think it's not just his gameplay, but it's the way that he's a field commander and how he motivates those around him, right? Because he can take guys that aren't as good and make them elite stars. The way that he runs out the pocket, he'll run right into a defensive back. He'll run into a linebacker. He doesn't care who it is. His game style, his gameplay, the way that he is, and his heart that he puts into it. I don't think you can say anybody else in the game has the heart that Baker Mayfield does.
And I love, they brought Sterling Shepard in, which was one of his targets in college. Shepard's career is over by the time he gets to Tampa.
Oh, yeah.
And I know there had to have been conversations in the back end where they trusted him enough where he said, I've played with this guy. We won a ton of football games at the college level. I know how he can play. And then you watch Baker on the field giving him opportunity after opportunity to not just earn the respect, because he's already got Baker's respect.
Oh, 100%.
He's like, hey, I played with him in college. We won a ton of football games. I love this kid. But he's giving him an opportunity to earn the respect of the team and say, hey, he can still be a valuable piece. This is before the Mike Evans thing. This is, hey, I'm telling you, this guy has got something here. I'm not asking him to do what he did in college. I'm not asking him to do what he did in New York.
Yeah.
I'm asking him to not be the number 1, number 2 option. I'm asking him to be a number 3 option. And taking all the pressure off of him. And I think he's got a mindset that team has just really rallied around. And to be the guy that has to come in after a legend leaves,
it's huge.
That's the worst job in the NFL.
It's huge to try and fill those shoes.
Either being the guy that has to come in after Belichick or the guy that has to come in after Brady. You've got to be the 2 worst jobs in the history of the NFL because it's just a no-win situation.
No.
And Baker just kind of – and he's mellowed out a little bit. Wife and kid will do that, but still plays chippy.
Oh, yeah.
And it's fun to watch. I really want him to make a good playoff run just because I think it's so much fun for Trent Williams. There you go.
He's looking better. The first couple of games of the season, it's he's not the one that he used to be. And I think also when he got hurt, I think it was towards the end of last season.
Yeah.
It's showing this year. It's showing this year a little bit. I'm not saying that he's still not elite, because he is.
When you're that good, the drop off isn't nearly as drastic.
Yeah.
As for
but
some.
You can watch it. You can see it.
Yeah, he's a little more handsy in his blocking scheme. He doesn't have maybe as quick a first step.
Yeah.
Mac and Brock can both move around in the pocket. That makes his job a little bit easier. Yep. But they still put a lot of trust in him, and I do credit to Shanahan. I think when he finds a guy that is reliable, he's willing to give him every opportunity.
Oh yeah.
Whereas some coaches would go, "Oh, your best years are behind you. It's over.
You need to be benched now, and we're going to get somebody else that may not have the caliber of you yet, but we're going to keep you here to train him up." And I think, in the coming years, because I know he's getting ready to. I know he had talked about potential of retirement last year. Stuck around again.
Yeah.
He's wanting to make that run. He's wanting to make sure that Super Bowl is solidified with him on the team. So I can respect him for that tremendously. But I think he's one of those ones that sooner or later he's going to be taken, and probably sooner than later, he's going to be taking that back step, and we're going to be getting somebody else that's in there to be able to help out. But him, I think of him as somebody like Joe Staley, right?
Yeah.
Joe Staley was really, really solid, stayed there for many, many years with us, was one that you knew you could always rely on. And same thing with Trent.
Yeah, and I want him to leave when he wants to leave, but I also want him to leave with a legacy intact. I think that's the one thing I do respect about Jason Kelce leaving when he did. Everyone's like, well, he's got one more in him. You're right, he might. But he also might not.
Yeah.
Leave when you need to. Offensive linemen, most of those guys, I always laugh because the offensive linemen are the first ones that you see about 3 years after the career. They've shed about 200 pounds. It looks like, you could tell when they're ready to not just quit. They're like, I'm ready to get this weight off.
Yep.
I'm ready to.
I want to go and sit in Cancun and relax.
I'm tired of eating all the time and holding all this weight. He is a guy that carries his weight incredibly well, and he looks good, which is tough. Some guys, when they come back from injury, physically, you go, man, he looks a little bit too light, or he's too heavy.
Yep.
He still looks good, and they're, I don't know if the Rams are not going to be able to figure it out in this game at all. It's a good statement first half for San Francisco, though.
They're driving down the field, and that's very, very, with the limited stars.
That's what I was going to say. This takes a lot of wind out of a sail when you came in thinking we're going to be able to walk these guys because of all the injuries.
Oh, I'll be honest. Walking into here, I was even telling my girl, I'm like, look, here's the thing. I'm going to be upset probably after this game.
Yeah.
I'm ecstatic right now. So, if we can pull this one off, that will be phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
They're showing next week's Thursday night football game, Eagles, Giants, Hurts versus Dart. Giants seem excited about Jackson Dart.
They do.
There's something
I know
there.
some people that just really, really are hyped up on it, right? And watching them play, what was the game against the Cowboys? Went into overtime. The way that team was putting it down, and I know Russell was behind the helm at that time, and I don't think there's anybody can throw a moon ball like that guy.
No.
Right? But I like to see that they know they're kind of still trying to rebuild, still trying to put it down, but man, they just don't stop.
Yep.
They'll make you think twice that, hey, we haven't given up yet. We're still going to be here, right? And then being able to go into that overtime and pull that one off, not winning, of course, but unfortunately, to just get it into overtime, that was a huge, huge game.
And I think if you're Brian Daboll, it's a win-win for you if you go ahead and move on to Dart, because now you basically just bought yourself another year as head coach.
Oh yeah,
because that's your excuse if the season doesn't go great. You get to go in there and go, well, I'm starting the rookie.
Yeah,
I'm starting the guy.
We just got to figure them out
yeah,
now.
well, just
So
give
like,
me
you know,
another year, you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
So you might as well do it, and you're not hurting yourself. Obviously, I think Russell Wilson, whatever was left in the tank, he used in that Cowboys game to get them there. But man, the rest of the way, Russell has just looked really bad.
There we go.
There
But
you go.
I'm just saying, picking him up was probably the best thing that we should have done that last year.
Well, there's some teams right now that have figured out that they don't have their field goal guy.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can ask the Dallas Cowboys how much fun it is when you can go, hey, we just got to get it within 60
or 70.
Yeah,
I
he's
mean, he'll
so
kick it 70
hilarious.
yards and not even bat an eyelash.
Well, I mean, the New York Jets, people like kind of, there's some people kind of like, oh, why the Jets signed Nick Folk? And it's like, yeah, Nick Folk maybe 40, but Adam Vinatieri is 42, and he was just fine.
Yep.
Like
But
when you got a guy,
David Akers.
yeah,
Yeah.
David Akers.
Well past 40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a guy that can bang it. They're not every guy, like you need them to hit 60 yarders.
No.
We need you to hit 40 and in.
Yep.
And if you got a guy that can hit 50 plus, great. You got an advantage.
Yep.
But
Well, with the new kickoff format,
right.
Oh, dude, yeah. They don't even
Now
have to
you're-
boot all the time like crazy.
you're going, okay, so it's this new kickoff thing, and now I only got to get my field goal kicker towards the 50. I only really need a couple of plays here. Whereas
Right.
back
Yep.
10 years ago, you go, man, they got a long way to go before field goal range. Now you're like, well, where is field goal range for some of these guys?
And every once in a while, you see that one where the guy's like thinking about it, and then he gets out, and he only gets the 10-yard line. It's like, dude, what were you thinking? Like, that was an easy gimme.
I hated it initially. I hated it because I just thought it looked weird.
Yep.
But now I get it, and I've gone back and looked at some of what I think they call it the UFL now, but when the XFL was
Yep.
kind of the one that had started that thing, and watched some of it, I thought, okay, I see what the NFL was seeing now, and more special teams guys are going to be able to stay healthy.
Yeah, that's a big thing. I mean, those big hits that you had when those guys were just full bore running down the field.
They were fun, but it cost
It
a
was
lot of
good.
guys money.
Yeah. So I'm good with it, but like you said, the style of it, the look of it, the kind of how all it went, and we've watched football for many years. When you get stuff like that happens, it's not like adjusting the game like Michael Vick adjusted the game for
Right.
people, right? Or things like that, right? You had to completely change your whole scheme. This is something that they implemented, but they did it for the right reason. And I think
Yeah.
that's the reason why I think we're all back behind it. Plus, you're watching a lot of guys still run it out,
A lot.
or
What was it? Week 3, we had 2 kickoff return. I mean, you look at the
Yep.
the Patriots game. What was it? Was it the Patriots and it wasn't the Dolphins?
no,
What's it? No,
no,
it was a home game for the Patriots, but they ran there were 2 touch kickoff return. It was a punt and a kickoff return, back and forth.
Yep.
I mean, it's not like at the end of the day, these guys are athletes, right?
Yeah.
And you're either going to run it back or you're not. You either can or you can't. It does not matter, right? I mean, we've seen going back to even college. I mean, you go back to the Iron Bowl with game
with the kick six.
with the kick 6. Like, you go back to, the Super Bowl with the Ravens and the 49ers with
Harbaugh Bowl.
with Jacoby Jones running that ball. It doesn't, what was that, like a 99-yarder?
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't.
Longest one.
It doesn't matter. I
Yep.
mean, you're either gonna block, and he's gonna find a hole and shoot through, or you're not.
And if you got a guy that can make those first 2 cuts are really, really good, that field opens up real fast.
Real fast.
Yep.
Where
Who
now
was it for the Kansas City Chiefs that used to run it back all the time?
Oh, Hardman,
No,
Mecole.
No.
Mecole?
no. I'm trying to remember. Dante Hall, was
Oh,
it Dante
yeah.
Hall?
yeah, that's a good point.
That guy, holy moly!
How about Joshua Cribbs,
Yep. I mean, just smoke you down the field.
Yeah.
Smoke you.
Leon
know, and
Washington?
It was insane watching those guys.
Yeah.
It was insane watching them. And
Yeah.
then every couple of years, you'd get that guy that was a
Your guy.
shining star.
Devin Hester.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Devin Hester
Oh,
was
yeah.
probably the greatest. I mean, we used to laugh like it.
He'd
You
run
know,
200 yards just to
Yeah.
get.
we were we'd always on a kickoff. I'd always go, are they going to be dumb enough to kick it to Devin Hester? And he didn't towards the middle. A lot of teams had wised up to it, and special teams coordinators had quit trying to like check they're like, oh yeah, I've schemed this, and they quit doing it. But it'd be about one or two a game that some of them, I don't know if it was on purpose or if the kicker screwed up, but he would catch one and then the whole stadium just stand up because he could take it to the house.
Yep.
Or give you a good 30 or 40-yard return every time. And if you would have put that guy in this new kickoff form, oh my gosh,
it would have been, yeah.
Because he had, back then he'd have to make 4 or 5 unbelievable moves to score.
To be able, yeah.
Now it's just 1 or 2.
So are we thinking right now, like, we're at halftime. Mac Jones got 2 touchdowns, 179 yards. He is, I believe he's 13 for 24, 15 for 24. Is this now a situation, you think, Mike, where you may be losing your backup quarterback to a team that is quarterback needy to take over? Because Mac Jones is still young. I mean, again, like drafted in 2021, this is his 3rd team in the right system. He's shown, just like Sam Darnold, like Baker, right, like Daniel Jones has shown, that he's still got football in him. You just got to use him right.
I don't think we're going to lose him. And here's the reason why. So we have CMC, and now who is his backup?
Got Brian Robinson.
Okay, right. If you want to put it as a elite back, right? I mean, he's not biggest of the elite, but he's definitely he's a great second option, right?
Yeah.
He's not going to miss a beat. I think the same thing with our quarterback situation. So they've watched how this has happened. Those are 2 integral parts to the team, right? So having Brian Robinson back up CMC, now that we know if CMC goes down, something happens, hamstring, whatever the situation, we know we've got a guy that can step right back in and fill those shoes. Same thing kind of with Mac Jones now, right? Is that we've seen the challenges, where we lost Trey Lance, he got hurt, then Garoppolo got hurt, and that's what gave Brock Purdy the opportunity to jump in there. But I mean, we've been plagued with injuries, right?
Yeah.
I mean, probably over the last couple of seasons, we have probably the highest amount of injuries in regards to, the team itself. But I think what he's doing is really optimizing, because he fought to get Mac Jones over here, right? Because he wanted him there, and for a good reason. You can see that he can slide in and be able to do this even with, 3rd, 4th, 5th string, wide receivers. Guys that just came up from practice squad, right? He's got them on the field, and he's still throwing dimes to those guys,
well,
right?
I guess he's used to it because he got drafted with the Patriots, who had no wide receivers, right?
Or 1st, 2nd, or 3rd string. You hadn't heard of any of the guys.
Yeah, it's because Bill picked them all off the side of the road.
Yep.
But I think the Bears giving Tyson Bagent the extension as a backup.
Yep.
I think teams have started to realize, hey, some of these guys are going to get to a point in their career where they realize starting in the NFL may never be an option. But if a team will go, we're willing to pay you good money as a backup, instead of doing what my team's done, what your team's done, which is, where's the oldest guy in the NFL that might have 3 games left in him? Let's bring him in as a backup.
Most infamously, I mean, you had the interview last year with Phillip Rivers saying that, what was it, 2 years ago?
Somebody called him.
It was the 49ers.
Yep.
The 49ers called him.
Yeah.
When
That's
Purdy
how
got
everybody's
hurt.
done it for years and years and
Exactly.
years. Who's some old broken down guy?
Let's just get him in here, see if he can train up the newbie.
Yeah.
Right?
Then the Vikings, do something very, very unusual and signing Sam Darnold to back up J.J. McCarthy, and he gets you 14 wins.
And then they let him go.
And they don't even get me started. Don't even get me
Then
started.
they let him go.
Yeah,
like,
look how the
they didn't
Seahawks
even
are
pay
playing.
the man.
No. And see, that's my biggest issue. Like, I'm banging the table because I'm so irritated about it. You have these guys that are young kids that came in, that had high expectations, that weren't in a good system, that didn't give the shot the proper development, and then they go into these teams, they learn some things, right? Like, most notably, he goes from Carolina, he goes to the 49ers.
Yep.
He goes, sits behind in that group with Shanahan, right? Yep. And then he goes to O'Connell and sits there with Kim, and gets that whole offseason. JJ goes down, he steps in, 14 wins.
Yep.
14 wins. And then everyone's, oh, well, that's just an isolated incident. I told Aaron, I said, you watch. He's going to make the Seahawks fight for that division. Yep. And sure enough, here we are looking at Sam Darnold with the Seahawks just I mean, putting up a fight in that division with you guys.
And watching Geno slide right over
Yes.
into Oakland.
Yeah, and he's a perfect fit. I mean, he is a Pete Carroll guy.
Yes.
Yep.
Like Pete loves like a grizzly veteran with a chip on his shoulder.
Don't mind
Pete's that
running.
guy. Pete's that guy. He likes to kind of be taken. I remember when even they were making those runs in Seattle, he would like make up things almost. Where he'd be like, everyone's counting us out, and I'm like, no one's counting you out. Everyone is picking you to win the Super Bowl. No one's counting us. I think that certain guys fit that way.
But that's what Brady talks about, right? In those interviews is about, like you may have, he talks about most famously about him and Peyton, about, them having, dinner and stuff. But what made him so much different mental makeup than a lot of guys playing quarterback in that era, even some of the greats, is that he would, Brady talks about it. He's like, I would make up things in my head that they said. And they're like, well, Bruce could be like, Tom, no one said it. Oh, yeah, he did. He said that. It reminds me of like Jordan.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Just, did you hear what he said? Or if they did say something, oh, that's the wrong thing. And they flipped that switch.
Yep. He turned in the water boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And some guys don't have to do it. Some guys, they but some guys do. I'm sure Baker probably has to work himself into a lather in warm-ups.
Oh yeah,
replaying every negative thing that anyone's ever said about him.
Yeah, and then he's that pit bull that comes in there just with frothing at the mouth, right? Imagine him and Derrick Henry running at each other. You think we'll win that one?
I think
Baker's got spunk, man. I think he'd give him a run
Baker would have
for
to be in
his
a
money.
body cast before he tap out.
And then some guy, I look at Burrow. I don't know how he gets up every day and wants to play football.
Yeah.
I do not understand it. When you walk into a building that your ownership and your GM are trying to just not lose money every year.
Yep.
They're not trying to win football games.
Or even Daniel Jones. Like, you go listen to Daniel Jones talk. I mean, I told Aaron the other day, I was like, dude, I watched the Manning cast and Daniel Jones on there. That dude's got zero personality.
Zip.
And it's like,
yep.
He's
just monotone the whole time.
You thought that Eli in his career was very, non, personality, and you got friggin'
Eli. He makes Eli look like a
charismatic, spunky human being.
It's bad.
But Daniel Jones is statistically the number 2 quarterback in the National Football League.
Some teams need a boring quarterback, though.
Yeah.
And Indianapolis is a place that needs a boring quarterback.
Yeah.
They don't want a quarterback with personality. Again, Chicago, we got a quarterback with personality, and every fan hates it. Hates it. But I keep thinking, but remember all those Cutler years? All we complained about is the guy didn't look like he wanted to play football.
Jay Cutler.
Now you get a guy that, I know Caleb likes playing football. Do I like all of the weird painting my fingernails and the
mom needs to be my on the side and everything? Yeah, no, it's at that point in time it's a little bit sad. But can the man play? Absolutely. I mean, he definitely
talent.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He'll throw a pass at least twice a game that I'll go, I don't know anybody in the league can do that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how he's getting that off. But then my frustration with him is the same. Then the easy check down throw, he'll zip past a guy, throw it, over a guy, and you're like,
well, it's like for me with the Jets with Justin Fields. Justin Fields, it seems can't make a crossing route on a short slant, but good
can
Lord,
roll out, throw off 1 foot 60 yards though.
Not Garrett Wilson in the end zone in the only spot that the defender can't grab it, and it's like, what are we doing?
When he was with Chicago, we went. My wife's a diehard Cowboys fan. We went and watched them play the Cowboys at AT&T Stadium. And I had a Cowboys fan turn around and go, every time that guy takes off, I'm scared to death. I go, you think you're scared to death? I'm scared to death too. Because he's not doing it. These aren't design runs.
No, he's got to make something extend out and play a little longer.
Doesn't know how to be creative offensively at all. And we don't know what we're doing. But I hoped Tomlin was going to be the guy for Justin. I really did. I thought that was a great fit. It wasn't for whatever reason. But there are those guys that I don't know. I think it's crazy athleticism that I think got them they could do a lot of things in college, and it's hard to get them to change that mindset when they go to the NFL. And you have to be able to make the easy throws.
Mm-hmm.
In college, you were bigger, faster, stronger than everybody else on the field.
Yep.
Now you come to the NFL, everybody you're playing with was
Is
bigger.
elite.
Yeah, they were all the best player on their college
Yeah.
team.
Look at Zach Wilson. In our, we draft Zach Wilson in the 2021 draft. The Jets do, and I think that was, personally, if you want to really get the truth, they went and watched him in shorts.
Yeah.
Put on a show, and Woody Johnson told. I mean, that's what came out.
I want him.
He told Joe Douglas, "No, you're not going Justin Fields. You're going him," because that's what came out. It's that Douglas wanted, Justin Fields. But, going back and kind of thinking about all the things that, went good and went wrong, Zach Wilson couldn't make a crossing route to save his life.
Yep.
But good Lord, he could find old man Corey Davis on a streak route in the corner of the end zone for a 50-yard bomb.
Yep.
Every time he got free.
Yeah.
And, Aaron, we talked about this multiple times on Hear Me Out. Justin's brought it up. A lot of these guys, just like with basketball, in basketball, they all watch Steph Curry and Trae Young.
They all want to be Patrick Mahomes.
They all want to be Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
They all want to be Lamar Jackson. They all want to be Josh Allen. And the reality of the situation, is guys like Kirk Cousins, Mac Jones, Sam Darnold,
make a lot of money being boring.
and they stay in the league a long time.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
That you can put up a lot of yards and make no throw that is going to end up on an ESPN top 10. But then you look at the yards and go, man, threw for a crap ton of yards tonight.
Yep.
They were all 25, 30-yard passes. There was a lot of dink and dunk, and you can win a lot of football games that way. Now,
You can.
I think San Francisco has got a guy that, especially when he was in college, he can really throw it in a basket. And he has a great long ball.
But the thing is that, prior to this year and even this year, we're starting to see some of that spunk. But, the Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk, when they were out there, George Kittle, all these guys are yak guys, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, he doesn't have to throw it 40, 50, 60 yards to hit these guys, right? At the end of the day, you let these guys do what they do, you do what you do, and everybody's going to be happy, right?
And everybody's going to get paid.
Exactly.
Everyone's gonna get paid.
Exactly.
And in the league that we're in too, right? You're not gonna throw it and this is one thing that salute to Bo Nix for the simple fact that Bo Nix is throwing the ball freaking 40 times in this era in the National Football League, because no one else is doing that. You're being asked to throw the ball 25 times at the most in a traditional West Coast offense.
Yeah.
And that's it. Because these guys, and you talk about it a lot on the Water Boys, a lot of these guys that are now coming out that are successful from the receiver and running back, even in the cornerback side of it, they say athlete.
Yeah.
And when you have athletes on your team, you don't need to do a lot.
No, that allows you RPO, that allows you a lot of other opportunities that you're not having to sling the ball down. And by doing that, you're keeping your quarterback's arm still fluid.
Yeah, and most guys now, obviously Ashton Jeanty comes in. He's a throwback type of running back that you look at and go, look, second coming of Derrick Henry type of, body makeup. He's a powerful guy. But a lot of the running backs that have come out in previous years, they really just double as another tight end.
Yep.
Like they can catch the ball. And so if you've got that option, as a quarterback, you don't have to make the job harder than it has to be.
Yeah.
I do not understand why Denver makes him throw the ball so much. I'm sure that they have to. He threw the ball a ton at Oregon. I get it, but a lot of guys threw the ton of ball at Oregon.
But he asked Breeze to do that a lot whenever he was in New Orleans. Breeze would throw that ball, it felt like 30, 40 times. And I feel like that's just –
they just dumped it. They did.
Wide right.
And if you're LA, whatever momentum you just had coming out of half is gone.
And here's the deal, guys. I'm really disappointed. Shout out, we've one of my friends is Jordan Whittington's brother. I want to see more Jordan Whittington, because he got the ball twice here right before the half and got some yardage, got him the first down. And it seems like now that you've got Devontae, I mean, rightfully so, Puka, Devontae, Tutu, but see, Jordan's a guy that seems like he is a very reliable, almost like an Evan Ingram tight end that runs in the slot type of guy. And then you got Tutu, who's really more of your streak route guy, who's just blow and go. And I don't know about y'all, but I feel like Devontae and Puka do a lot of the same things. They're very similar. They're very solid hands, very clean route runners. You're really looking for those guys. You know, Puka, I would say obviously younger, got a little more yak opportunity.
Yeah.
But,
of
but
course.
man, you gotta when you have that many receivers, and this is the same thing. I think that Kyle does a lot better whenever everyone's healthy. Is Shanahan opens up like the field for all of the receivers.
Yes.
Because you'll see Ayuk. I mean, you'll see Juwan Jennings. Like, I mean, you know, back when you guys had the kid out of I can't think right now. The kid out of Texas, he was the track star.
Oh, Crabtree? Not Crabtree.
Not Crabtree. Starts with a G. Is it Gold? Is it I can't. I'll think of his name here in a second. But it's
having a brain fart.
He was number 1, I think. But you've got this plethora of wide receiver talent.
Yep.
Shanahan gets them all involved.
Well, but here's what I will say that makes Shanahan different. And it's a little more Bill Belichick maybe than it is anybody else. He treats everybody on the team the same.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody gets treated the same.
Doesn't matter if you're high or
that's how his
lowest
dad
paid,
He's
everybody.
grumpy to everyone.
Yep.
And that makes it a lot easier when you get out on the field. Nobody has an expectation that they're going to get the ball more than anybody else does.
Might cover your ears because I'm gonna make a joke about the 49ers.
That's
But you know, if you're Shanahan and you continue to lose games that you should, and your career is literally known for like the biggest comeback in a Super Bowl of all time, you better be that way.
But
because you need your options.
Listen. He will go down as the guy that gave the fact that Brock Purdy. No one in their right mind would have drafted that guy and thought
he's going to be the
this
one.
Would work.
Yep.
Him and Bill may be the only two guys that would look at a guy and see what works and not concentrate on what the guy can't do.
Yeah, exactly.
Because Brock's not big.
Nope.
He doesn't have all the tools physically.
Nope. He's a scrambler though, which is crazy. I mean, for such a small guy, he can get out and kind of finagle out of stuff. And
we noticed that when he was at Iowa State, is people go, man, he moves around a lot. I go, yeah, well, he can't step up into the offensive lineman.
He can't see.
He has no idea what's going
him.
on. He's figured out he can make these throws from weird angles and weird spots in the field because he didn't have any other choice.
Right.
If he sees a guy getting open and he goes, well, I'm gonna have to get here to be able to make that throw. Man, they're just listing all the guys you guys have got out.
And
That's wild.
Shout out Coach Campbell at Iowa State. Because that dude has had every opportunity to come to the NFL every year.
His name comes up every year.
Every year. The Jets have interviewed him twice.
Cowboys interviewed him. I mean, and every big SEC job when it comes open is the first name on the. Oh, can we get Matt Campbell to leave Iowa State?
Pull him out here. Let's bring him on over.
But when you're pushing, I mean, like people forget, like there is a lot of NFL talent that comes out.
Yeah.
I mean, you just look at this past year, the Houston Texans took both of his wide receivers.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, it's wild, but yeah.
But when he does that, the thing is that they already have the synchrony together.
Yes.
So when you can pull something like that off, and that's a hat trick right there to be able to even get that opportunity to do it. But when you can, and these guys work so well together in college, imagine what they're going to do when they hit the field together.
It's the Burrow and Jamar Chase thing.
Or even going further back, Andrew Luck and Kobe Fleener.
Yeah. And it doesn't work every time. It didn't work with Kyler and Marquise.
No.
It doesn't work every time.
No.
But it does, as an offensive coordinator, make it a lot easier when you go into watch film and you just go, well, all of these plays that they're running in college, we can run those.
I'm going to tell you this right now. I am counting down the days until Isaiah Likely takes over as the #1 tight end in Baltimore, and Baker tells Coach Bowles, "Hey, I really want Mark Andrews back, please."
Right. I still have Likely on my team on bench right now. I'm waiting for him to come back and really start playing again like he was.
That was my favorite call of the first year that we did our draft. Was I called Isaiah Likely out of Coastal Carolina, project guy, gets the opportunity, and sure enough, I'll never forget. I think his debut game? It was that game against the. It was the opening day last year, wasn't it?
Did they not play
against the Bills, where he had the toe drag that they called back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that was, man, that was as close of a call you could have. I mean,
I would not want to be that.
I'll be honest,
that referee.
I would have had to have said that that was a touchdown. The way, I mean, what you're looking at right there, the minuscule amount. I mean, we're doing all of our is it a first down by digital now, right? Instead of if they're going to call out the yardsticks to actually try and pull this out, but uh-oh.
No.
Please don't do that.
Oh no. See, if that happens, we're really in trouble then.
Somebody put Brock Purdy in a bubble.
Yeah, I know, right?
Well, Aaron, I think we're getting close to the end here, guys. If you haven't already and you're in the Frisco area, please, we've got the QR code down here in the lower third. Make sure you guys hit that QR code. Make sure you guys get you some tickets. Come out here to the Celebrity Softball Classic. We're going to be out here all weekend. We cannot wait to be able to be a part of this again this year. If you haven't been, you have to do it. Please make sure you follow us on all major social media platforms. And if you haven't, go down to your local Dave & Buster's. Go watch the game. It's the place to watch the games this year. But for Mike, for Aaron, I am Jet, guys. This has been a special edition of the Watch Along for the Celebrity Softball Classic at Dave & Buster's here in Frisco, Texas. We appreciate y'all hanging out. We guys will see you on Saturday.